Hello folks, it's me Rob once again. Hi! Today has been a very good day for me for gaming stuff, and I just kind of wanted to show you some of the things. This is basically kind of opening up the cupboards and, showing you the different things. It's not bragging, I hope. Well, I mean, we like to show off our stuff. We do. And there's some cool stuff, but in this case, it's kind of showing you guys, so if you have interest in any of these things, you can let me know, and I can make a video for them, prioritize for the kind of things you want to see. So, as I said, today's been a pretty good day. I had an unboxing video already that I did. If you're interested, it should be going up around the same time as this video. I think I'll put this up a little bit first, a little bit earlier. But I got my GUI Cube Kickstarter, which came with the Encyclopedia Zyathica, which is an overview of their world, Zyathe. And I got the 3 sections of their Red Star Rising campaign, each one of which comes in a heavy-duty cardboard box. And there's 3 of these things. And it's so cool. I can't wait to do proper unboxings for each of these and show you the contents. It's going to be amazing. So I've been waiting for that for a little while. It finally came. Very happy. And the professional opinion of one member who's in my gaming group on exactly how good this stuff is and how much she may be looking forward to enjoying it. Take it away, Mrs. Amsai.
Hi.
What do you think?
It is very cool.
Yes. She's absolutely coiling up with energy waiting for me to run these games. And it's coming. It's going to be coming. So, these are really cool things, and it was a great surprise to have today. Not really a surprise, I've been tracking it for a bit. So, that was a nice thing. Also, went to the local hobby shop. D&D Candlekeep Mysteries came out, and this is one that I've been interested in for a bit. Not because naturally I think that all of my gaming groups are going to be all that keen on mystery, but I really want to see how the talented staff of writers handle mysteries in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. It's a tough call. With so many magics that seem to break mysteries, I'm really curious to see how they write these things so that it can be a mystery no matter how intuitive the players may be in circumventing some of the usual hurdles that mysteries throw your way. How well they use, say, divinations to be able to get answers where seemingly there may not be any. And what I've seen already just from the titles of the different adventures is that a lot of them aren't mysteries in the way that, oh my gosh, there's a dead body. Who killed him? No, a lot of these are these are really cool situations that your characters may have to try to puzzle through. Also, more information on Candlekeep, which is an area that I only briefly visited in the video game Baldur's Gate. Intrigued me tremendously. A huge library that could be a great source of adventure and lore. Yeah, sign me up. I'd love to see more about that. So, that's cool, and yes, there will be a proper review on that soon. I'm prioritizing that one because it's topical. People are talking about it, and therefore I want to add my voice to it. I know a lot of people have kind of come down on it because it isn't the product they want to see coming out. They're like, nobody asked for this. Well, nonsense. I think it's going to be a great expansion to the world, and I really hope it's as good as I just hope it's really good. Then we went thrift store shopping, because we love thrift store shopping. I went to the used video game store that I like to go to called Start Over nearby. Scored myself a Nintendo Max controller, one of the first controllers I've ever seen that had turbo buttons right on the controller. This was for the old classic Nintendo, if you remember how that looked. Just a D-pad, 2 buttons, and a start and select in the middle, and that was it. Very bare bones, lightweight, fairly comfortable to use over long periods of time, and I did that. This is a little bit more ergonomically designed, and the turbo buttons will save my thumbs tremendously. That, along with the Nintendo Advantage that I have, is really going to help me make gameplay on those kind of games much smoother and easier. And I like this lighter weight controller. The Advantage is still awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I was looking forward to the Max too. And speaking of things with X's in them, I also scored the game Fazanadu, which is a game that I had ages and ages ago when I was still living with my father. And I remember it fondly as an adventure game, platformer, and I'm really looking forward to crawling the dungeon depths in Xanadu again. So, found it, was very happy to get it. It was one of those, if I find this, I must get it kind of games. So, then we went to Half Price Bookstore. I love Half Price Bookstore. And it loves me, apparently, because a lot of my collection is from Half Price Bookstore. And some of that stuff that I've gotten hasn't been at just half price. I sometimes got some really good deals on some of these things. This time the deals weren't quite as deep, but I did find some nice stuff. For instance, I got the Gateway Bestiary from RuneQuest by Sandy Peterson. This is additional monsters for RuneQuest. Now, obviously, this is pretty old school. I mean, the art, there's not a lot of interior art. Most of it is kind of crude, and I mean, look at the glory of that cover. This is old school cover art. This was before it really became in vogue to go and use fine art for your covers. So it was what it was. The inside is fairly ugly. I mean, this is just for information. It's not going to give you a lot of illustrations, unfortunately. That became kind of a necessity later on, quality-wise. But back in this day, nope, didn't need that, so they didn't. The thing I liked about it when flicking through it was they break down a lot of the terrors into where they came from. Like, there are Lovecraftian creatures. There are natural animals that weren't in the original RuneQuest threats and things. There's dinosaurs, because everybody loves dinosaurs in their games. There's the undead. There's Celtic monsters and Greek monsters and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going through this. And I do have RuneQuest, a much more modern version, but that might have some things in it that could help me out when I choose to run that. I also got a missing book from my Torg collection. Yes, I still don't have the box set and the story cards. I'm still looking forward to that. But Space Gods was one of those books that I wasn't sure if I had, so I let it go a few times, and now I picked it up. I'm looking forward to seeing how this absolutely transforms the world of Torg. And when I run it, I'm going to have a complete set so I can know the fun places that I can send my little Storm Knight party to go and try to save the world using the different means at their disposals. Throwing a variety of situations so that it doesn't ever get old and stagnant. If they get tired of facing the forces of one Dark Lord, they can go and switch gears and try something else. And I'm really looking forward to the reading all of this and taking in the whole context and scope of the game. When you had all these multiple source books and systems, sometimes it's really hard to get the full picture that they were envisioning. This brings me ever so closer. As a matter of fact, I think that was the last of the rule books that I really wanted to get to look over everything. So, was happy to get it. Happy to add that to my collection. But this is the signature one. It is, and I don't think this is original shrink wrap, but I have Adventures by Gaslight, the Sherlock Holmes consulting detective game. Now, I'm not entirely certain what it entails. All I know is that this was distributed by Chessex. It's from quite a long time ago. And it's a supplement to the game Consulting Detective. So I'm going to be doing some research and adding on to this. But the exciting thing about this is that this can be mined for all kinds of ideas for constructing adventures and coming up with interesting wrinkles and twists into adventures and games that I already have. So, as well as possible maps that I can use, because I'm sure most of these things take place in London. There's a case book with the rules on how to run these kind of adventures. A clue book, separate from the adventure book. I like that. Newspaper archive, so there's a collection of loose newspapers from the time. Handouts are always a plus in these kind of games. And newspapers and postcards, and a big map of Paris. So this could open up a lot of avenues, and I'm really looking forward to exploring that more fully and giving you a view of it. It's really hard to find those books and try to find that set in a sealed box so I know the stuff inside hasn't been tampered with. So it was a little pricey, but I think as an artifact of gaming, it it's going to give all of us something fun to look at in the future. So if you're interested in it, by all means, send me a message, leave a comment or something, and I'll look into that a little bit more deeply. So, this has been a very good day for my gaming collection. It's probably the last time I splurge on any of this stuff, or any time in the very near future. I've got all the D&D books that I think I want. I've got a lot of back material to use, and I've got a variety of really good games that I can't wait to throw at my players as we start getting through some of these classics that I've got in my collection. So, that's my new finds. Those are different avenues that we can now explore together, and I'm happy to bring them to you. So, I am Rob once more, and I will see you the next time I crawl in front of this camera with another ridiculous hat that my wife picked out for me, and I make one of these videos. So, thank you, and farewell.